I want to try and wrap this up. The asphalt deal over there, my argument, my suspicion. Number one, it's unplanned. With the amount. Now I'm just talking about my neighbor, right? That's the one who I saw right there. You know, like we don't have blinders on to our fences, and unfortunate for them that, um, and unfortunate that I'm looking for a healthy ecology, not only the ecology of the land, but people. I'm like, hello, 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 hello. Look, nobody there, but they're there. Okay, the non-present society. Let me write this down. I got to get my notes right for my court, my constitution. You know, I really. So, but number one, with this, my neighbor, you know, my particular argument, unplanned. There was way more than 10 asphalt trucks, city-sized, that came here and dumped a lot of material. First, it was one day it was 6 trucks, and then the next day, at least 5 or 6 more. And along with the tractor, doing a very, just a very quick job, no beeper, right? Right. By the way, you know, there's a big tractor, and usually they have a beeper, but that thing is quiet and just silently, really brand new. So the unplanned, number one, unplanned, like unchoreographed. You know, as far as if you were to put, don't you think that if they knew and they planned on bringing 12 asphalt, city-sized asphalt trucks in, that they would have a little groove to put it in, do a little bit of leveling, you know, and I would notice, you know, sometimes they put a flag or two in or whatever, you know, but so it's a private residence. Well, he didn't bother to do that, even though there was a tractor afterwards that bothered to come in. So it just seems haphazardous, haphazardous, just unplanned. Now, but see, basically, this is about permits. This is about permits now, really, because and some people are telling me, well, for sure they need a permit for so many square feet, or is it yards? I forget what they tell me, but so but I'm looking at yardage, feetage for sure, yardage for sure. I'm looking at people who just decided to do like maybe just their whole yard, around trees too. It's not like on the driveway, because they don't want it. It looks like they don't want to do any more yard work or something. You know, of course, it's a business. People are living up here solely doing yard work, and more. I'm sure, you know, like with me, I was doing it for $25 an hour. I'm very methodical, and I'm a Zen master, and people don't know I work like 3 drunken men, I guess. No, really, 3 men who think they're accurate. Really just raking you over. I don't want to be there very long, and so if I work 4 hours, babes, I tell people just watch. And one guy's not stupid. He said, "Shit, yeah, come back." You know, I'm hardly charging him $100 to do his whole fucking spread. You know, $200 and it's done. 4 acres of weed whipping. Are you kidding me? People would fucking charge $600. Why do you brag about that, Shauna? I don't know. I'm a giveaway, right? I do donate. You know, I try. I know that it made it easy on them, but I don't like the feeling of, you know, what an idiot, you know. And everybody's like, now they just think I'm stupid. It's like, no, I'm trying to show you people how to live, I guess, and it doesn't pay off really. I mean, money wise, no, sure doesn't, but maybe it makes you think a little bit. Maybe you will give a little bit when it's really needed, and I know it's really needed, especially with that stupid scene. Stop raking each other over. Is there something that you can give me that's worth a damn? Of course I need wood. Bring wood. You know? Anyway, I'm trying to get on just look at this thing that went on, the most recent. Okay, the unplanned haphazardous activity. That's a trip, but see, I only thought it was my neighbor. Only thought it was neighbor. Only thought it was neighbor. Just the neighbor. You know, and I was like, good God, dude. I mean, there he is, bringing fucking 12, macking fucking truckloads. And I'm like, nightmare. And then the scene goes on where he calls the sheriff on me because I was yelling at him. And he just wanted me to shut up. He thought that he would intimidate me. and I was putting signs all around, and so, but then I went to the store. I managed to, okay, this is so, okay, this is what happened, okay? Um, I went to the store. This was after he poured the 6 truckloads, and I was pissed right there. Whew, stinky. Got that on film. Whatever. You have to record everything, babes. Everything. Spur of the moment. If you're even driving by these fucking non-human, draconian, like narcissist people, put a camera on them. I should have had a camera on them. The last 2 times they fucking hollered at me, and you know, it was like this energetic gang, and you can tell it's like, man, they eat crappy. They're breathing that asphalt. They're drinking shitty water. They're watching the entertainment. They have a shitty education. And now look at them. I have this cartoon of them at my house, especially, you know, they're kind of kid. They're kid-like. And I'm sorry, babes. I'm sorry. The people that are being manufactured now by the system via get your vaccine enough and your fetus will come out. And then now, like, what is this guy? A fucking, what the fuck are you? In my day, babe, you would be fucking considered retarded. Now you're running a goddamn hardware store over there. A waterhead. Pardon me. Sorry. I'm David Icke. I'm David Icke fucking sauce. You love it! So, number one, the unplanned, haphazardous. Whatever happened? So that now it's a question of the permits. I only thought it was my neighbor, just my neighbor. But then he had because he plopped down 6 truckloads. 6 truckloads at first, 6 trucks at first. And so the piles were allowed to sit there for like 2 or 3 days. And at the time I was begging him, please get rid of these. I sent him a note and put it on his fence. Remove those, take it back to the city. You know, phew. This is a residential area. It's clean in there. I told him there's organic alternatives, and this is careless. Act against the environment. Before the tractor came in and started spreading that. See, the tractor came in when they brought in the second loads. What happened was I went to town after the first load was brought in. I didn't notice anything at the end of the road. Nothing was going on. So I was going to town and to do something, and all I noticed on a Tuesday, which is empty for the tourism, but it was just like a freeway of these cement trucks, and they were even bigger. Mack trucks, man, carrying massive amounts of this asphalt. Some of it's shimmering, glistening with oil, and other is really dirty and ucky. And they did pour some on a lot over here. It's just like, oh, here's, anybody want it? I bet you anything. It's like this inside business has these boys hired to say, yeah, we'll go and spread it, because I saw them around the corner. They called attention to it. So I noticed this, I'm like, on Tuesday. But so then, I'm thinking, I'm trying to get over this spread over here, and I'm trying to think of what can I do? And then my neighbor gets another. This is after he calls the sheriff on me and everything, and they tried to silence me. Well, he tried to silence me with that, and I still put signs up. I'm like, nah, I've been putting signs up saying I protest against this as a non-conscientious residents, blah, blah, blah. This is already happening in my town, by the way, this over there, but I'm just in my area, and I'm like, excuse me, I'm the leader! I'm like, I'm the leader! Right now, no, we're doing New Earth! New Earth, okay. Chapter 1. Because you didn't know. That's what your religion says. So you want to know? What do you mean is you're forgiven because you didn't know? You want to know? Well, you have to find your new leader. Stop killing these people. Anyway, getting back to 6 trucks. So thanks for listening to this. This is actually meant for the courtroom. If I could just get this shit down like a robot. See, they want robot-style shit, and I'm trying to write it down right now. Here. Don't you like my cartoon version? It's still Venus and Leo, and I'm just like, that's entertainment. Really, it's the theater. The theater, what is it? The courts. You get dressed, you go there, and if you've noticed, if you ever watched them, any of the court hearings on TV, if you really see some of them, the people that are against, like, say, social media and the pollution and stuff, they're very theatrical. All of them are. And they raise their voice and they say, blah, blah, blah. And they say, excuse me, that's, you know, uh, objection. And blah, 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 to the point and fucking in your face about this law. And they're very just, they have to get into this, my armory, and it's like, interesting. That's a platform. That's a theater. That's a stage. Take it to the stage. What stage? What does stage mean? It means that you're graduating into something. What? Well, so far the courtrooms, if you look at it, they are dead. They're wearing dead clothing. Those are enslaved people, by the way. Most of them. They're stormtrooping along, because they're doing it for money. The money thing that needs to be busted apart somehow. I'm sorry, people. Because that's not what's bringing us pleasures. That's not what's really bringing us food. I mean, you can imagine that, but why don't you see farming all around you? Why do they keep cutting down trees that would provide medicines and food right in front of your face? They have cut them all down. They are not visible. Why is it such a mystery? I always wonder what kids think. Like, where your food comes from? Because when I was a kid, well, at least I saw oranges growing in my neighborhood, and all kinds of fruit trees came from the 20s, when my house was built, when the home that I was raised in, 1926, was the year of that one of those houses in the 20s. So they were conscientious of the depression, and so a lot of fruit trees were all around, and there was still remnants of that in my yard when I was a little girl. They were all there, but then there's where we're getting them all cut down too, and some of them were just croaking. But anyway, sorry about all this. 12 minutes. It should be interesting to some personal friends. Just trying to get these notes together. So the unprepared soil and the haphazardous thing. Number 2. So then after I'm noticing now with there's this second load that came in, and then now they're tractoring. And that happened, and so I waited till the tractoring was done. They did it really quick, haphazardous, sloppy, no planning. And so then I'm like, and so then I want to go to town again, and so I go to town, and I notice the tractor at the end of the block now. It's the same day, and they had a spill, asphalt spill happened there for them, and they had a tractor flattening out their road, and it seemed like it was so, again, unplanned. Now, why is it looking like everybody's doing this? So it's looking like there's many places that got this. See, within a week, I can see that. See, usually when a private residence is at least thinking on their own, they're going to plan on doing it. There's a sign, and they'll do it privately, like the people down the road. I honor and respect them. I want them to know. The Donahues, they own the hardware store, the other hardware store, and they're going to still get my business. I'm never going to go to the other hardware store, because apparently the Waterhead and these characters of Riffraff, they own it now. And since then, babes, I've noticed that the service has gone way down. I haven't been able to get. See, I got a window. I got one window, but then they couldn't cut the window, and they didn't have anybody there that can cut the window. And I was telling them, well, I can cut it, and then they're like, well, this is blah blah blah. And I'm pretty sure it was them who I was talking to down there, who was this next case where they're workers, and because I think they went around. It's like, okay, the individuated. See, what happened was, like, it was a collective shitting on the environment via this deal that they got from. It's like a mob of people that just went and did it and thought that was okay, and I think that they got paid. I bet you anything, if I keep scratching at it, we would find that out, and I am going to keep scratching at it. They needed permits for that, and they need to be harassed about that. And there's another discrepancy I need to get into, which involves one of the little kids filming me on my property, deep within my property at my front door. They had to walk like 120 yards to to just start filming me, and it was a bad day, and I was yelling at them, but I was very concise about what I needed, what I was trying to tell them. As far as my octave of voice, they doesn't matter to me. There's a message there. Listen to it. These people pick on other people that have emotions, and this is going to stop. It's like that's not a reason to not be able to hear and see what we're saying. Okay, so that's a whole other issue that baby humanity needs to stick up for themselves and say, yeah, no, yeah. See, because I'm always being pushed back. I'm always being, see, this is just the infant narcissist that maybe there is a cure, and that is to be heard and understand you are being boundaries are being broken. If that's including like how that the asphalt going on the dirt, it changes the vibration for an empath. It's like now it's just feeling and smelling, let alone smelling, it's feeling different. It's like I said, if there was a music, if it was a song, la la, and then you put that right there, it's like la 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 la. You know what I mean? It's like seriously. They have a commercial that I love. I don't watch TV a lot, but what I did, I noticed this one commercial. They talk about they're trying to sell water. Anyway, they have an orchestra there, and the only way to tell if it was a pure water is when the orchestra cleared up and everybody was on tune and playing on tune and doing the same thing, like collectively they were, and it was beautiful. But when somebody was off, they were saying, "Well, we explained the dirty water. It's just like this. The dirty water is like this, And they kind of somehow they correlated it. It was a cool fucking commercial that, in fact, George Soros and those people that have taken over our water supply of the world. When I say that, it's more like the springs. The freshest water comes from earth springs that are forever, and that's located in Brazil, and there's probably a lot of other places around here, but we're talking about mining water. It's not rain that's coming up out of it. It's because of the heat of the earth is condensing water just like a storm underneath the earth, and it's percolating up. And that's what, in fact, makes our oceans. Anyway, and oil is the same. It's forever supply, and that's what the West doesn't like, that the East has a forever supply of oil, and they will, of course, control the prices and here and bombing over there and getting it. I remember it was 10 cents a gallon from Colombia. At one point, it was in the 90s or in the 80s. I remember hearing it was 10 cents a gallon. Well, now I mean, a barrel. Sorry, a barrel. 10 cents a barrel. For the major industries when they're selling it to major buyers. Well, it's a lot more now, but that's all because the warlords being warlocked. And anyway, boy, this video, I hope you like it. It's Sunday. And I was trying to get to number 2. The fact that it was swarm like, say, it wasn't individuated, like, oh, that person got a professional in there and they're going to do an artistic job. Like, what I mean is the people down the street, they hired some professionals to come in, and it's nicely done. It's a different material. It's not government grade, which is like, what the hell is in that stuff? Do you realize that stuff is purposely being altered for you to enjoy your future health problems? No, no, well, get out of my face. You people are so ignorant, and you don't even know why you ended up in the mountains. My family is in the mountains, man. This is fucked up, and we have to clarify, well, why are you up here? Really, I would be leading in refreshing on a grandfather clause scale. It's like, and on top of it, we have been bamboozled. I'm trying to get out of it. I want to meet the right good people on my level who are saying, you know what, we're having to sell out too. We're having to see. What I've heard is everybody has moved already. I'm one of the last people. If you really look at it, I've been here, even though I look 19 years old. I've been here 35 years, which is strange, right? Because I only look like I'm 22. But I've been here for over 35 years, and my family has been here, and I'm not saying I'm stuck and saying I knew how it was, but really it's like this with the people. With the people, we knew how it was, where it was tighter, that we knew why we were here, how to keep it pristine. The reason why we're here is to enjoy how beautiful the forest is, and don't let people cut trees down. And we have a religion is like the trees. We understand their strength and how they're not falling down everywhere. They really aren't. If that was happening, we wouldn't have houses sitting here all the time. But they get everybody living fearfully, and then it was the summer after COVID-19 was mentioned. It was a swarm of people. It's boundary breaking after year after year. It was a swarm of people cutting down green trees on the premise that might happen, that these trees are going to fall. And they had like these fake environmentalist people going around saying, "Yep, that one very much so looks like." And it's like, why? It's just an excuse because they didn't want things to burn down. It's like, you guys are so if so disrespectful to the true intelligences up here, and everybody else. Really, I have it down home from just having talked to my grandmother, and then she's talking to her dad, and he has an Indian lineage fully because he's half Indian, and they understand the strength of Mother Nature and everything that's going on. Who caused the depression in the 20s, and why we ended up in the mountains next to a hopefully a clear stream with fish in it, to totally sustain ourselves and just put that dependent, being so-called independent or dependent bullshit away. What is your constitution? Clean. What constitutes you, babe? What makes you strong is clean water, good land, clean water, and the food supply. Get that together. Know how to do it. Then you can do everything else. You get very much more energy than what you plugging away with how you're just being pounded on all the time. Really, I can't imagine how people are running. It's just a run and then what, sudden drop? Yeah. So anyway, number 2, God. How that it wasn't individuated. It just seemed like a number of people. And if you look even more, I bet, because I'm the only one on this block that notices it, and it bugs me. But I bet you anything go along my neighborhood, like right next door, there's 4 people, and one of them just decided to add asphalt. And it's like, what do you guys think of that next to you? What do you think of right next to you, right next door? What do you think about it? I mean, how do you feel? Can you smell it? I mean, really, do you are you sir, are you concerned about the environmental degradation around you? If that was ever a reason why you were here in the first place, did you enjoy the pine smell before this came in at all? So, but my point is, okay, number 2, it just looks like a gang of people did it. The style that it's done, I've never seen in my life up here. You can see just different, from one driveway to the next, you can see different styles, but that I don't think it's, well, yeah, maybe they talked and said, babes, it's a hit by a swarm of people that were coming from a central intelligence. Now, I have a feeling it has to do with the major construction up here. So, just that right there sticks out. It's kind of, you look at it, it's looking like they're just being lazy and they don't want to do their yard, So it's these people, they're all affiliated, so they need to be rattled their cage, find out permits, blah blah blah. You can just see, if it was gravel and 3/4 inch stone, or decomposed granite, organic, I wouldn't be complaining. I would notice too. You would notice that swarm of thing happening, but not really, because that's toxic, and those people are toxic. After a while, you talk to them, they are a contagion. They are a contagion. They're still in trouble. There's still a pending thing where I can have them. In fact, I don't want to have them arrested, but I can threaten it. They need to erase the whatever. I don't really care if it's there or not. Really, they don't. They think that, like, they would put it in my face. See you yelling at us. And it's like, yeah. You want to see the 999 videos I have on YouTube of me yelling at you? I see me doing that all the time. Do you see you right now telling me that I'm a fire hazard? And really, this little boy with it's just pure riffraff. I'm sorry. I was like, dude, you're a fire hazard. Get out of here. And then one of them says, I'll pray for you. And I'm like, you know what? You don't have the same God as I do. fucking got really quiet. They started to move away when I started to make sense to them. You're just not in the right at any time. When you're starting out wrong, doing something non-conscientious as far as having, my complaint is there's an environmental problem already, right? But then these people choose to do a toxic move. It could have been done organically. Anyway, fuck. See, this keeps bugging me like this, and I wish I can drop it. I wish I can calm my mind or something, but it's like if I have energy, then this is what I'm going to do, I guess. You're supposed to do that. You know, it's almost like, okay, so I can try and drop it, but if it's the thing you're supposed to do it. You know, I don't really care. See, this is what's really, oh, is there thunder happening? Oh no, it's probably somebody's truck. This is the thing is, they try to bully me around and stuff, but that's not really my point. You're supposed to do this, you know, you're supposed to fight, push back in your neighborhood, drop a seed at least and tell them, God, that was terrible. And really, I have a way of just stomping around, and I don't care what they think of me. You know, the mob comes at me, it's like, okay, so you guys are a bunch of kids that you're going to try and silence me and bully me into being silent, and they didn't. I put enough stuff already on, kept talking in the neighborhood the way I have my right to, on the public telephone poles, letting them know that it's freedom of speech and blah, blah, blah. See, out of 6 or 8 people, there's got to be 2 people that are like, she's right, she's right, she's right, she's right. And boy, I do smell that fucking, and why do I have a headache tonight? Because of the asphalt smell. All kinds of other problems. I noticed that, this is a long video, but I noticed that they hit Saunders Meadows, something, and they still kind of do this, but not anymore, not around here, I don't know. But somebody has constructed, like, say, their pathways and even their patios and stuff with railroad ties stacking up on, and those are a carcinogen, those are a poison, right there, and then there is just a lot of cases of breast cancer coming up out of that area. I know some women that have lived there all of their life, since they were a little girl. Why did they end up with fucking breast cancer? That's one of the things she was talking. I was working with her, and she was really standoffish and kind of. Maybe that was one of the reasons, but about the truth, you know, she was, and I could tell I had tested her a lot, and even then it was, what year was that? That was 1996 or 7 when I had that job. I had it for a long time, and I remember telling her, I just said, babe, with the amount of vaccines that has increased, in fact, 46 more or something that they require somebody to have, they try to give you. If you take those, I mean, it's fully correlated with the mysterious cancers and diseases that come up. And you can bet that they make you allergic to some things that would be set on the outside, the carcinogens and whatever. They can make you allergic to pollen and sun and everything just by with your different foods too, just by giving you those injections that just makes your fucking immune system go haywire. A lot of people don't know that, but that's exactly what's happening. Big business to make you sick and string you out that way. And is it really you? No, it's a body. It's some manufacturing, something that, you know, you are coming from almost an industry now. You know, it's hard to tell who owns the biological factory here. I would beg to say that women need to fucking wake up. Did you know that you're having kids? I mean, human beings. Did you know that this experience you're having? How would you like to pass it on into another human? I mean, what I'm saying is, what are you doing? Sorry. Here we go. Because whatever you're doing, you're passing it on, babe. Is it a good feeling? Are you feeling good? Are we having fun yet with our fucking completely morbid looking shit that's happening? How did that happen? Well, take as many vaccines as you can, even before. If you can get it beforehand, yes. Get them brushing with fluoride and then have kids under that, and then all your kids have shitty teeth. That happens to the upscale people. And it's like, well, why do you have rotten teeth? Well, you're doing the fluoride. You know, you're really taking care of the teeth there. Don't do it with fluoride. Come on. Oh, man, what are people taking care of anyway? It's like, you're going to die by the time you're 96 anyway. Happy Halloween! The truth. No, death! How do I do this? And now do you see how vain everybody has gotten since the injections? It's like, and they wave. It's just like this big advertisement scene, and they're waving these guitars. You play guitar, and they're like, I don't know what to do. And there's guitars there, and there's all this stuff for them to fucking keep spending their money on. And it's like, how weird this fucking scene is looking. Is anybody seeing what I'm seeing? I have front row seats. I mean, I'm still eating non-GM. I'm eating the non-GMO popcorn, if at all. Number 2, it's just sudden. Group did it, and it's and the style is sloppy, right? It's like really It's just, again, it points at the haphazardness, and then um, and then the way that they're fighting back at me, and trying to make me feel like that. You know, it really is an environmental issue. This needs to be changed. It's so weird, and I think it's going to take a long time to get this, whatever this breed is, that thinks they want to build a little tiny city on top of a city in a city. It's like, well, when are you going to honor sanctuaries? I mean, how is it that you destroy sanctuaries? You know, we have to turn it into a tourist area because you don't know how to live in it. Think about that. I think part of the tourism should be looking at the people who know how to harmonize with the animals, who know how to live with it, and they could invite people in, maybe, and give us a lot of money to do that. Talk about wearing masks and stuff. Anyway, I have my story down. I know what I'm looking at. It's just other things have stuck out about this weird activity. Um, but the main thing is doing the right thing would be to go through the crumbling society, the people that don't have power. This is spiritual warfare, and you will run into some genuine people that wish they can make a difference. And the truth is there is a service out there, and they have to do their job. This one guy that this is the story. I know this is a long talk. This is a story, though. See, I called. Boy, all the women were very sympathetic, and they understood. You know, oh gosh, yeah, no, that's a nice area, and then they gave me this phone number to somebody who I understood would be a direct. He's a code enforcer guy. He's an inspector. His name is Jared. And I was like, fuck yeah, I was so happy. So I called him. And got him a voice. And I'm pretty sure I was just being very not robotic, but I was getting my point across about what my plight is. But the main thing is to find out if they have permits, right? And so I don't know. At one point, I said, "Well, I'm just glad that you're going to be able to go out there and check it out." And he said, "Well, I didn't." The first thing he said to me was condescending. It's like, "Well, I didn't say that," or something like that. It's like, "Well, you didn't say anything yet, babe. I was just talking and trying to tell you. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to try it again. See, this other woman, you know, that he sounded very. See, then unfortunately, well, I told him some addresses. I told him addresses, and I told him, but I got I told him Highway 243 was one of the main cross streets to the toll gate where 3 of the main sites where it was just haphazard spill. But I got my addresses mixed up, and then one was totally mixed up. So that was fucked up because he really stomped on me for that. It was immediate. through email. He says, and because I typed through email what the address is and stuff, I got the highway wrong. My eyesight going bad, and I typed 253 instead of 243. And he already knows the highway. It's 243, but he chooses as a narcissist, as a lowlife, to say, that they pick on little things like that and they don't put it together. What's the rationale? What would help in the situation? What is the truth that we're trying to get at, which we both would be able to see if we went like this and took all the writing away? It's Highway 243, and I already told you that too, and you would know that that's what it is through this city. So he chooses to go, and there is no, I can show you the email. It says, I jumbled up the addresses. I was like, darn. And I don't know what Highway 253 is. That's what he said. He said it in a certain way, and you can look at it and it's like, this guy's a fucking dumb shit. A narcissist that, okay, oh, I'm supposed to understand you're having a bad day and you don't know how to fucking help me out today. And so I get it. You're not the one. And you're a man. I understand you are just weak in disposition. You're psychologically fucked. Have a good day, and I think you should be fucking, your job should be taken away because you're negligent. Next! In fact, is what I was told. This other woman was the last number I called was an environmentalist bunch of people in India. Two other people I called, and they were both women. They were understanding, and then the last ones I actually called the ranger, and they said, what you have to do is you have to keep calling. As far as the inspectors, get another inspector. There's a whole bunch of people that work with that, and you need to keep, what you have to do is you have to keep bugging them, and so that's what I'm going to keep doing. It's just Sunday, right? And you don't do that. I'm supposed to understand that people are sleeping on it, but I left a couple messages where I could, and it was very just concise, and I understand that I need to get less personal about, like, well, it was really shocking, and like stuff saying like that, and more like, I need to find out if they have permits or not, yay or nay. On top of that, I want to know, really, I want to know if it's an environmental hazard. If I can really start moving, how do I see? My idea is to just change whatever this coding is that says that these people think that they can do anything they want on their property. This is not the city. I would understand if you were the city and you were about to go make some crack in your fucking garage. Oh, and you wanted to just cement it off and have bushes shaped as a fucking penis, and it's like hardly a piece of dirt there, and you're hosing it off with a fire hose. Fine, but not around here. Why? Because we live in the mountains up here. There's mountain people, and we like another kind of ambiance other than that. In fact, when you go down to the city, we can see that plenty. Oil stains and all, fucking all of your bitchin' slick that is going down into the gutter. You don't care there's a creek here. And we're trying to keep it clean. Why? Because people come up and visit and they like it. Because we like it here. There was a tourist industry that came up, and I always wondered, what the fuck did they come up here for? More and more, it's just people riding bikes and a bunch of cars, and they'll come and they'll sit their asses down and eat a bunch of hamburgers, and it's weird. It's like, this place is a whole whorehouse, the strangest whorehouse you'll ever see. I think it's masking itself in some other kind of activity. It's like, you don't even want to know. Don't want to know. I've already talked about that. But everybody knows the world, right? How that it's ran by satanic groups, and they're using human energy. Across the board, if you talk about that, it would be the child trafficking and blah, blah, blah. But, I don't know. It's not dangerous to the ones who move in the name of the holy truth and know. They're not trapped here. See, there's a trapped bunch of people here that go on and on with this as far as reincarnation, incarnations of hell going on. There's something that says, well, you don't have to like be trapped in this. You can kind of, in fact, some perhaps who are saying that are saying you can come in and out of it and get more and more conscious and say, whew, excuse me, well, Yeah, but what's the score now with the organic team? I mean, do we get anywhere? I mean, what's really going on? I mean, do I really have to come back to that? You know, as far as the organic team, individually, you'll be like tested. We're all being tested all across the board. I mean, it doesn't stop. Where do you want to find yourself? How do you begin? There is a key. It's a 3-letter word. You begin with God. In other words, you begin with now.